welcome back to another episode of Let's Talk Boxing. I'm your girl Leti.
I'm LB.
And let's get into the fight.
Let's get it.
Let's get into this fight that we've been waiting for. We have Andy Ruiz,
AKA the Destroyer.
Yep, out of Imperial, California, representing Mexico.
Yep.
Versus Luis Ortiz,
King Kong.
Cuba.
Yep.
Out of Cuba, but resides in Florida now.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna let you pop it off and start off with this fight.
All right, so I am so excited for this fight. I've been wanting this fight since both of them were coming off of their losses. When Luis Ortiz was coming off the loss with Deontay Wilder, Andy Ruiz was coming off the loss versus Anthony Joshua. I thought that was perfect timing. I thought that would have been a massive event. And even Andy Ruiz, he ended up asking the fans, like, who do you want to see him fight? You know, and so a lot of people were saying Luis Ortiz, but he ended up choosing Chris Arreola. So that was his last fight. He got tested. He got tested.
Yeah, which
Yeah.
He definitely did, and I don't think he would have been ready for Ortiz.
Yeah.
I definitely think the fight would go a lot different than what I'm thinking happen this time.
Yeah, especially. So, yeah, he had the Areola fight, and then Ortiz had the fight with Martin.
Oh, shit.
And that was one of our favorite fights.
That fight, I swear, it was just like, it was an emotional roller coaster, low key at that time.
Roller coaster. We saw King Kong get off he got dropped in the first round. We saw him get up off the camp. He got dropped twice, actually.
Yeah, and low-key it was like, shit, it's going to be it. You know, you see his kids right there in the front center, seeing him, closing their eyes. It was just crazy fight.
So that was that last fight. And then we get the Andy Ruiz fight, and Chris Arreola drops him. Drops him twice. So, they were coming off of that, but both of them reached down deep and got the W.
There you go.
So I'm excited for them to actually finally, for the fight to actually come to fruition this time.
Yes, and I mean, I really, really enjoy both boxers.
Yeah, we miss both of them.
So, this fight is going to be, I guess, a win-win situation. No lose-lose because, I'm rooting for both fighters.
Okay.
I have in mind who I think is going to win the fight. But, it's going to be an explosive-ass fight. Yeah. It's going to have all of us in our edges. Edges, and it's just going to be crazy.
Oh, yeah. This is a true 50-50 fight.
Yeah.
Before, prior to those fights that they had in between, I felt differently about the fight. And now, the fight has gotten a lot closer. Just on what's happening, Ortiz is up there a little bit more in age. They're just at different points in their career. So I think now that the time is, I think that they're closer matchup this time. The other thing I was going to say, this is a classic boxer-puncher versus the pressure fighter. I love the boxer-punchers and I love the pressure fighters. Andy Ruiz, known for them fast hands. He going to bring that pressure. And then, you got Luis Ortiz, who got that Cuban school of boxing. He got that nice jab. He's southpaw. He counters well. I'm just excited for this.
Yeah, I mean, and also, but you know what? Luis Ortiz, he's a little bit of a pressure fighter as well.
Yeah, he'll come. Definitely, he comes forward. Yeah.
You ain't got to look for him. What threw me off is I really thought this was like a 50-50 fight. Again, I'm kind of leaning a little bit more towards one fighter, but it's crazy that the odds are, Andy Ruiz is favored over Ortiz. I was thinking it would have been more like a close to
it's definitely I feel like the fight is a lot closer than what the odds makers had it. This is when you look at Ortiz, I think a lot of it has to do with his last fight. His last fight, and that's kind of, his leg didn't look to be all that is there. They say, the power is the last thing to go, and he definitely had the power. But if you look at that fight, he did, had his struggles, on staying on his feet and his balance. And so, it could have just been, he did have a long layoff, and that was southpaw on southpaw. Usually, those fights tend to be a little, messy. And he did get caught cold, so maybe that was why, we didn't have legs throughout the fight. But maybe that's what the odd maker are looking at, Andy being the younger fighter,
Yeah. But, one punch can change the whole show.
That's right.
But, we had the press conference, and, all I got from the press conference is, one, it's going to be a good-ass undercard. Two, I'm really excited to see the undercard. But, Ortiz is just, he's going for the knock. It's gonna be a knockout, you know, whether it's gonna be him knocking out Andy Ruiz or Ortiz getting knocked out himself, you know. And I see the fight going that way. I think it's gonna be end in a knockout as well.
Yeah, I can see it going. I can see this fight going two different ways, you know, and I can see both. I can see both it getting a knockout in a way, one way or another. But why don't you gotta why don't you tell me?
I mean, and you know, they both. This is like do or die for them because they both. You know, we have Andy Ruiz, who's the first Mexican heavyweight champ. We have Ortiz that wants to be the first Cuban. You know, heavyweight champ.
Yeah, and to kind of add about that, you know, being the first Cuba champ. You know, prior in his career, you know, he was signed with Eddie Hearn, and you know, he was promised to get that Anthony Joshua title shot. And it never happened. So that kind of goes with what you're saying. You know, he's been chasing this dream. He's very ambitious chasing this dream that you're talking about.
Yes. So I feel like they both are going to, you know, want to come for each other.
Yeah.
You know, I've been seeing Andy Ruiz just, you know, all his like interviews he's been doing. And I just feel like he's been on this emotional roller coaster from the last, you know, from the first fight, you know, him defeating Anthony Joshua to coming back and then losing his belt and just letting everybody down. He was just talking about how he really felt like shit after, you know, not being dedicated after, you know, winning that. He just felt like he let everybody down.
Yeah, you know, he came back in his heaviest weight ever.
Yes, and he said he could definitely feel it in that fight. And I just feel like he's really going to come in the best shape. And, you know, he's gone both ways. One where he, you know, after coming back, he was just really focused on losing weight because everybody was talking about his weight, you know, how he looked or whatever. And he was just more focused on losing weight, which...
Yeah, instead of boxing, and you know, that's what he said. You know, he didn't feel, you know, at that weight. You know, he didn't feel his strongest. He didn't feel his power. And I mean, you can kind of see because you know he definitely didn't take punches as well. You know, Arreola put him on the ground. He got dropped. He definitely didn't, you know, look, you know, like the normal Andy Ruiz that we see. So
so. You know, I think now he's focused. You know, he talked about he's got the people in his corner that are on his ass, you know, like really on his ass to do what he's got to do. So I just feel that Andy Ruiz is going to come in and give it his all. Ortiz, I know he's going to come in, give it his all as well. Super tough-ass fighter. But my edge, I think, is going to be a stoppage.
For who? Who you got?
I think, I like both boxers, but I'm leaning towards Andy Ruiz knocking out Ortiz.
Okay.
What do you think?
So yeah, I mean, I can see that too. I can see that for the simple fact of, you know, the things I was kind of talking about. You know,
I'm sorry, I gotta add something real quick. Because also, what kind of made me lean, like I said, it was a 50-50 fight, but what kind of made me lean a little bit more towards Andy Ruiz is, man, I was watching his workouts that he was doing. He is fast, and we all know him to be fast already, but he had hella speed, movement in the ring, and he had power. So I was just like,
I mean, Andy Ruiz. I mean, if you watch any of his, I mean, Andy Ruiz always looks amazing on the pads. Always looks amazing in his training because of those fast hands. So you know, I wouldn't say that he's looking better than, because he always looks good to me like that. But yeah, you know, I definitely think that, you know, he's gonna come back in a more comfortable weight because, you know, those things, you know, the reason that, you know, he was saying, you know, he was trying to get smaller. And yeah, I can see what you're saying also, but you know, for him to go ahead and get to get that, you know, he's gonna have to get through some fire. He's gonna have to get through some fire, and that's and really, this fight to me is like, okay, it's the battle of Andy Ruiz's chin versus Luis Ortiz's legs. Which one's gonna stand up? That's what the fight. That's what the fight feels like.
So it's a chin on leg.
Yeah, you know, because definitely like Andy Ruiz, you know, he gets, you know, on the way, he gets caught coming in, and you know, the offense that Luis Ortiz brings is he's better offensive fighter than Joshua and Arreola, and we saw that, you know, he was hurt by both of those. Now the thing that I think that Luis Ortiz is going to get in trouble is when Luis Ortiz hurts his opponent, he's like a shark. He's like a shark, and he'll start to come after you. Now the thing when Andy Ruiz gets hurt, he turns into a monster.
That's so funny because
he
was talking about
he was talking about that, and you know, they talk about that. Oh, you know, that Mexican style. He got that Mexican heart. Like if you watch every time he gets hurt, like you know, you don't even see him like you know dazed or nothing. He just comes forward and keeps coming, and you know he starts throwing faster. And the thing that he has over these other guys is his hands. So people get caught in a fight, and he catches you in exchange because he has that speed. So I can see that. But I will say this: King Kong got some power.
Yes,
I mean, we seen him. Like I said, you know, we saw Martin had all that success. You know, just to lose it to a nasty shot from Luis Ortiz. Remember that knockout? It was knockout of the year.
Yeah.
Didn't even know where he was.
That's what I'm saying. One punch can change everything.
So you know, in the beginning, so in the beginning of this fight. You know, I can see him catching Ruiz early, and I think Ruiz is actually going to go down. I think he's going to go down. I see both fighters going down.
Like, I can see that happening too.
Yeah, I see both fighters going down. Man, there's just so much that I've been thinking about this fight. I've been waiting for this fight for so long, as you guys can tell.
Yeah,
but
it's gonna be good.
It's gonna be good.
But who do you think?
Man,
who are you leaning to?
And the other part, you know, Luis Ortiz, you know. He's got good counters. He got a nasty left hand. And the thing is this
nasty over
and the thing about it though that kind of worries me is Andy also said he hasn't fought a southpaw since the amateurs. You know what I mean? He hasn't fought a southpaw since the amateurs. And when you're fighting southpaw versus orthodox, that straight left hand down the pipe is easier to land. And you know what I mean? And so and in the heavyweight division, one slip up can be it.
Yeah.
And so that's what makes this fight so amazing. That's what makes it a 50-50 fight. And that's why I can't wait. It's a true pick'em fight. So you went ahead and went with Andy Ruiz.
I think I'm leaning, even though like I love to watch Ortiz.
You went
great, but I'm going with Andy Ruiz.
You go with Andy Ruiz, so you betting on the chin. Betting.
Oh my God.
You know what? I'm also gonna have to go with Andy Ruiz Jr. I'm going to go with him for the simple fact of I'm going to go with the pressure fighter. And, you know, if he can go ahead and put that pressure on Luis Ortiz, you know, that's going to put pressure on the legs, put him on the back foot. I can see him wearing him down, catching him in between exchanges. We saw him go down. Martin was able to drop him with a jab on one of them after. And I just think that once Ruiz, you know, he ups that pace, I think it's just going to be too much for Ortiz, and I can see him stopping him late, but I'm gonna go ahead and go with Andy Ruiz. I think I'm gonna go with Andy Ruiz. And you know, Luis Ortiz talking about the fact that that it's gonna end in a knockout. Either way, that just shows me that them legs. Maybe he don't have the confidence in them legs either. He's like, I gotta get him out of there because definitely the fight's gonna favor Andy Ruiz as the fight goes on.
Yeah, but all right. I mean, I'm excited to see. I'm rocking. I'm leaning. I'm not gonna say I'm rocking, but because I like both fighters, I'm saying I'm leaning more towards Andy Ruiz. You're leaning more towards Andy Ruiz. So it's just something you know we're gonna be watching and anticipating the fight already. Yeah, you already know we're gonna be on the edge in our seat as you can see, and we've been waiting for this fight. But like you said, let us know below. You know who you got in this fight. Yeah.
We're interested to see that, but
we can't wait.
Can't wait to see that. The undercard, like she said, is amazing. We got Rayo Valenzuela. We got Isaac Pitbull Cruz. Abner Mares made his return, make his comeback fight. So definitely can't wait to see those. But that's all we got. So thanks for tuning in, y'all.
And don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe.
Or talk your shit. And we out.